So we are ready with the second session on Banku Babu Part 2. This chapter is quite interesting and it's similar to one of the few chapters, like one of the chapters in your syllabus, which was mostly about the ghost. Like some teachers like sees in one of the chapters. But here we are having something else. We are having aliens which come in contact with the human beings. But the chapter is quite interesting. We have read already the first 3 pages, and I think you are here on this. Like, suppose they came here, and from this only, I'm going to actually explain the rest of the chapter. Hope so. I will just complete maximum number of pages as far as the explanation of my this session is concerned. So let's go with it. Okay. So have a little bit of backflash of that. Like they were discussing the friends in the Banku Babu's house or at some place. They were discussing something about like the presence of alien or the arrival of alien to their land place or the place there where they live. So all denied, but Banku Babu was the one, and he said that suppose they came here. So from there we will start. Like Banku Babu actually said that suppose the aliens would come there and they came here, what would happen? What would be the scenario then? Then to the statement of Banku Babu, Nidu Babu replied. Nidu Babu, there would be so many Babus in this chapter because the most of the chapter is about the Bengali. So Satyajit Ray has written this chapter, so definitely there would be some characters from that like perspective. Like Nidu Babu feigned total amazement, complete amazement or complete surprise. Okay, there was, and hey, Bunkam wants to say something. So to actually make fun of him or to poke like fun of him, like he said that something related to that. Hey, Bunkam wants to say something. What did you say, Bunkam? Um, like he asked the question to Bunkam again so that he may highlight what Bunkam had said and so that they can make fun of him again. Who is going to come here and where from? So he asked so many questions, so you can actually remember these things, like what Nidu Babu's reaction was when Banku Babu actually insisted on the arrival of the aliens to their place. So then like what did he ask? He asked so many questions, so where they will come from? So Banku Babu repeated his words, his tone still gentle because he was a gentleman, so that's why his tone was also gentle. When he replied him, Nidu Babu again, he said that like suppose someone from a different planet come here. So it was in his imagination that he was actually expecting some alien people to come here, or somebody would come from the outside world. But the French were actually what we say, they were not ready to accept what he was saying. So that's why, like as he said that, like as he did so often, you know what he did, like who used to do this? Bharat Chakravarti used to do something on the regular basis. What was that? Bharat Chakravarti slapped Bonku Babu's back loudly and rudely, grinned, like he gave a kind of grin look and a serious look, like, and he actually slammed on the back of Banko Babu and said loudly, like, sorry, he hit him loudly and very rudely, like the way like sometimes we have the characters in the class that we treat them very rudely, though they are very much like interested in studies or something, but we consider them to be nothing. So that should not be the attitude towards anybody. There should not be anything like that in the mind for such people as well. So all are equal. So the equity must be there. But here there is no equity. The Bharat Chakravarti was quite a rude guy, and that's why he slapped Bonko Babu loudly and grinned. He said, "Bravo!" In like while making fun of Bonko Babu. said, "Bravo! What a thing to say! What a big thing he has said that somebody would come from somewhere. Where is a creature from another other planet going to land?" So he was making fun of him in another sense, that is it the only place like our place that the aliens would actually choose to come to? No. So he said that he said it in other tone, ironical statement. Not Moscow, not London, not New York, not even Kolkata. So they will come to Kankurgachi. Are they going to come to the Kankurgachi? He was saying that in a very sarcastic way or satirical way. So he was having a satire in his attitude when he was talking about Banku Babu's statement, like Kankurgachi is not the place for the aliens to come. So he said he also denied the idea of Banku Babu. Do you think, sorry, you do think big bunkum, don't you? So making fun of him, he said that like you are always having a marvelous idea in the mind, um, like you are marvelous in the sense he wanted to say that you are a fool. So but the statement was a different statement. You do think big, bunkum, like your mind is so imaginative. You think like that something can happen to our place, Kankurgachi. No, it is not possible. His perspective was obviously in negation, but he was trying to say that bunkum used to think little bit big ideas which are not possible to happen. So then thereafter, Banku Babu fell silent, obviously hearing such critical remarks or criticism of his statement. He did not find it like what we say approving. So that's why he felt silent. He fell silent, and but what happened? However, several questions arose in his mind. His idea was not blank idea, so that's why there were lots of questions that came in his mind. Was it really impossible? He thought that as my friends think that in Kankurgachi there cannot be any alien people. Was it really impossible that they cannot come here? Yeah, they can come here. In his imagination, it was going on. If an alien had to visit the Earth, would it really matter where it arrived first? So like accordingly his perspective, alien people or alien would not actually consider any place to be important or not important, because for them it would be also an alien world they have come into. So definitely they won't think that we are going to, it does matter to them that which place they are going to go. So it might not aim to go straight to any other part of the world. So that means like they won't have any objective in the mind to straight to go to any other part of the world. They would not have in the mind that I am going to Sri Lanka or I am going to Dubai. They won't have anything in the mind. They will go to a certain planet, and definitely they will land up. They can land up accordingly his mind, that they can land up anywhere. So it is possible that they can also come to the Kankurgachi. So his reasoning was right. Okay. So, but his friends were not thinking in that way. All right. It was highly unlikely that such a thing would happen in Kankurgachi. So obviously, accordingly, him also now he started thinking it's all right that it's not possible. It is highly unlikely. It's more probably it's not possible that they will come to the Kankurgachi. But let me just change the color. Yeah. But who was to say for sure that it could not happen at all? So, is there any person who can really make assurance about it or make an affidavit about it that yeah, there cannot be the possibility that they can come to Kankurgachi? So he was insisting on that, and then thereafter, another person, the main lead of it, his friends like Siripati Babu, he said something. What did he say? He said he was silent so far. Now he was like what was going on, like his friends were sitting around and they were making fun of Banku Babu, and Siripati Babu was the lead of all those friends and he was listening to them all. Okay, and he was silent so far. Now, as he shifted in his seat, everyone looked at him. So now, as he like made a kind of change in his placement, then everybody started looking at him, and he put his cup down. He was having a sip of tea, or maybe something he was drinking from his cup, and then he put his cup down and now spoke knowledgeably. I told you that he considered himself to be quite a knowledgeable person, like full of wisdom or something. The people like such are there in the world, like who think themselves to be quite knowledgeable, but they themselves do not know like what they say. So he says, look, if someone from a different planet does come to Earth, like I can assure you that he will not come to this God forsaken world, like where even the God has forsaken the place. Like they won't come to that place, like where God even have said that, like even like God has left this world. Then why would they come to this place? So um, they won't come to such a place where even the God would not like to come, and God has forsaken the world, forsaken the place. So those aliens are no fools. So why won't they come? Because he considers, Siripati Babu considers that they are not fools. They know that like what's good and what's bad for them. Accordingly, his belief. So it is my belief that they are sahibs. So who are sahibs? Aliens are sahibs. They are intelligent persons, so they will land in some western country. So in the perspective of Satyajit Ray, or I would say that in his character's perspective, it is clear that like who were considered very important people, the western country people were considered very important at the time. So that's why he was thinking, like even the characters used to think like that, and the alien people are also sahib, and they will come to the sahib's land. And what is the sahib's land? The western country. Any western country can be the possible place for the aliens to come and enjoy themselves, or meet the people around there. So where all sahib live, understand? So now he's replying to Banku Babu that your idea is false. You cannot actually think like that. So then everyone agreed. So obviously he was also against his idea, Banku Babu's idea. So that's why everybody agreed with each other's idea, with the sole exception. Sole exception means only one person was against it, or only one person was against the Siripati Babu's idea that they cannot come. So who was that? Banku Babu. So Banku Babu had a different thing in the mind. Chandi Babu decided to take thing bit further. Now, as they were making his fun, we have seen that like Banku Babu was being uh, dealt with very rudely by his friends. That's why like he nudged Nidhu Babu silently. So as he nudged Nidhu Babu silently, like nudged itself means like making any beckoning by the touching the shoulder, or nudged and pointed at Banku Babu and spoke innocently like he doesn't know anything, but that's why he's making this statement. So he wanted to actually exaggerate what everybody was doing. So Chandi Babu nudged Nidhu Babu and said, why I think Bonko is quite right. So now, like giving him a little bit more of the leeway that you can, you're thinking is right, Bonko. That I think Bonko is right. He wants to say to make him embarrassed more. So that's why, isn't it natural that alien, um, just a minute, let me just zoom it in. Alien should want to come to the place where there is a man like our Bonko Bihari. So like he was trying to say that like where Bonko Bihari lives, even where Bonku Babu lives, even the aliens would like to come to that place. If they wanted to take away a human specimen, could they find anything better? So now he was also making a sarcastic statement about Bonku, that like he's a kind of caricature, he's a kind of human specimen, whom even the aliens would like to prefer to take away so that they can do the research on him, that what is in the mind of Bonku Babu. So that's why. So he also made a fun of him. No, I don't think so. Nidhu Babu joined in. Now Babu was nudged by the Chandu Babu. He said that no, I don't think so. Consider his looks, not to mention his brains. So just consider his looks and not to mention his brains. Yes, Bankam would be the ideal specimen. So he also agreed that Banku Banku Babu would be the ideal person to be taken. Ideal means what we say that the specifically appropriate specimen to be taken along. So appropriate means which is apt accordingly the situation, or which is suitable. Okay, ideal means suitable accordingly the situation. So he would be the suitable specimen accordingly all of his friends, and the last two one have also made fun of it. Now one more person actually chipped in, like who came in and said, right, suitable for keeping in the museum. So that's why I said that their mindset was to make fun of him and was to be sarcastic about what Banku Babu said. Like there are people in the world whose statements are always considered to be negligible, and they are being always ignored by the society. So suitable for keeping in the museum or a zoo. Okay, so he was considered to like Ramakanai said that he such persons like Banku Babu must be kept in the zoo or kept in the museum. So that's why. Now Banku Babu, who was frustrated though, but he did not reply. He did not reply, but wandered silently. Wandered silently means he was thinking, he was reminiscing something, or he was pondering over the things that are being said against him silently. Now he was actually reiterating to himself that the same things that all of them have said about him, can't they be applicable to them? If anyone were to actually look for a specimen, so he was thinking that instead of calling me to be the ideal specimen, if really somebody is looking for the specimen, were not the others just as suitable? All of these people like Nidhu Babu, like Siripati Babu, Rama Kanai, and all other the characters are there that they are also suitable. They are suitable as well. Look at Siripati Babu. Now he is going to make fun of them, but not on the face, but in his mind, he would say something about them. What he would say, like his chin was so much like a camel's. Like what did he say about Siripati Babu? He said that his chin, the part of the mouth, is like a camel's mouth. Like he compared it with a camel, like a camel's mouth. So a comparison is made, and that means it's a simile. Okay, simile is used. So remember that like it's SIMILE, simile. So simile is used. So when the comparison is made, like if it is straight to that, his chin is like camel. If we say that camel's chin, so if it is straight to it, like he's like a camel, then it would be a metaphor. Okay, metaphor metaphor. Otherwise, it would be a simile. So his eyes were like the eyes of the like. Sorry. Now the second character he made fun of was Bharav Chakravarti, who also made fun of him, and Bharav Chakravarti, who actually slapped him rudely on the back and all that. So his eyes were like the eyes of the tortoise. So his eyes were like the eyes of the tortoise. So again, the comparison is done. So with the eyes. Okay. So Nidhu Babu looked like a rat. So Ramakanai like a goat, and Chandu Babu like a flitter mouse. So all of them have been compared to the different animals, but he did not say anything to all of them on the face. He did not say anything to them on the face. If the zoo really had to be filled up, um then then they can be the animals that can be filled in that. Let me just check it out whether it is working or not. We will come back again. Yeah, it's working. Now, moving further, like there are tears sprang to his eyes. So now he was obviously feeling embarrassed and insulted by the friends. That's why like his eyes were filled with the you know tears. So Bonko Babu had come to the meeting hoping for once to enjoy himself. So what he was thinking about was he had come to the meeting having a desperate like willingness, that he was hoping, that he was wishing that for once to enjoy himself, and that was clearly not to be. So it was not like it didn't happen with him. Okay, so he could not stay here any longer. Okay, so he could not stay here any longer, and he got to his feet and went away. So then, when he was moving, when he was walking, like his like one of friend Ramakanai said that, take care, Bankuda, warned Ramakanai. Ramakanai said, warned here means like, if you will come again, we will make fun of you. It was like that. So it's a moonless night, and he also warned him against one more thing, that it is a moonless night. There is no moon in the sky. There is no light in the sky, and it is a Saturday. It's a Saturday. So he has to be very careful about it. So very auspicious for ghosts and spooks. Spooks, I told you in the previous session, that is spirits. Okay, so it's a very auspicious, very favorable, or very what we say, that celebrated occasion for the ghost and the spooks. Okay, and the spirits, very holy, we can say that, holy for the ghost. That means suitable for the ghost to come out and all that. Everyone howled with delighted laughter. Howled with, that means there was a lot of noise about being funny about him, and they all were making a big laughter. Delighted laughter was there. Delighted here is an adjective used for the laughter. So kind of laughter. It was a delighted laughter, which was carrying a lot of fun, and what we say, a sarcasm also was a part of it. So now, Bonko Babu being insulted, uh, obviously he was not having any idea with him, so that's why he did not take any kind of torch with him, or a lantern. Lantern is a kind of specific lamp which used to be lit up, what we said that, which we used to lit with the help of kerosene oil and obviously matchstick. So there was no need for it. Like there was no need for like carrying the lantern or the torch. Accordingly, him, why? It was too cold for snakes to be out. One reason. That's why it was not that bad to actually not to take any torch or lantern. That there won't be any snakes. Why won't be any snakes? Because it is too cold and that snakes won't come out and about out and about. And he knew his way very well. Another thing was that, like, Bonko Babu was very well aware of the way he had to take, and he wanted to go back to home from that way. So he knew the path, like from where he would go, and he was clear about it that there won't be any snakes. So that's why he did not take anything like a torch or lantern with him. So normally, not many people took this route. So usually there were very less number of people who used to take this route, but it meant a shortcut for him. So it was just a shortcut for him. It was just a small space that he had to cover. So that's why it was not a difficult thing for him. Now, after that one, as he was moving, in the last few minutes, he had become aware of something unusual. So it was everything usual for him, but all of a sudden, at the end moments, in last few minutes, he was aware of something very much unusual, very much awkward, very much not usual, very much not common. something which was not common or what he saw at first. He could not put his finger to it. He could not put his finger to it. At first, he could not put his finger to it. Somehow, things were different now, different tonight. So now he had realized that something is different tonight. What was wrong and what was missing? There was something missing. Suddenly, he realized that what it was. The crickets were silent. Usually at night time, we also hear, even in the dark room, like there used to be the sound of the crickets. So crickets were silent, and there was no sound of the crickets, and not one was chirping. There was no sound. Today, there was only the airy silence. That means a complete silence that was there, and quite awkward kind of silence was there. What had happened to all the crickets? Were they all asleep? He thought, Bonku Babu thought that. Were they all asleep? And then came the next page. Yeah. Now, sorry, sorry. Let me just open that. My mistake. So, puzzle. From puzzle, we will read. Yeah. No, as he was puzzled, like what is going on tonight, because usually the things used to be quite normal, but now the things are a little bit different. Why there were no crickets? So he was puzzled. Bonku Babu walked another 20 yards. Like 20 yards, I told you, like 22 yards is the pitch, cricket pitch. And like here we see that 20 yards, like he walked. And then he suddenly saw the light. All of a sudden, he saw a light. And that light was a little bit different from usual light. At first, he thought that a fire had broken out, that there is a fire broken out. When the fire is broken out, there are lots of, flames of fire. Bang in the middle of Poncha Ghost Bamboo Grove. Like, so there was a bamboo grove, particularly of one of his known person, Poncha Ghosh. Um, in that, there was something like a burning, and what was it? In the clearing near in the clearing near a small pond, there was also a small pond, like where it's a reservoir of little bit of water, and quite a large area was glowing pink. So there was some area which was actually glowing pink, and the color was quite, like what we say, that more of the flames, but the pink flames were there. There was a pink light of that. So usually it was different. The light used to be different. Now the light is totally different. So a dull light shone on every branch. There was a dull light on every branch and every leaf. That means uh, the light, for example, light is here, and the trees are around. Then some of the flames were actually, sorry, some of the reflection of the light was onto the trees, and that's why they are saying that dull light shone on every branch and every leaf. Down below, the ground behind the pond was lit by a much stronger pink light. So there was a much stronger pink light. It was dull on the trees or on the leaves, but it was stronger as it was behind and on the in the ground behind the pond. But it was not fire, for it was still, because the light was still. Obviously, if it is still, then obviously there won't be any flickering of light. But if it is really a fire, then definitely there would be flickering also. Okay, so there would be flickering also, which was not possible here, like which is not possible here because they have mentioned that it was still. If it was still, it was a permanent light. So what this light was all about, let's see. Bonko Babu kept moving. Obviously, he was curious, he was anxious also, he was worried also what's going on. So he kept moving. His imagination was going to turn into the reality now. All at once, his ears began ringing. So he was having a humming sound around his, or a buzzing sound around his ears. So he felt as if someone was humming loudly. So like he was thinking like that, like there was somebody who was creating a certain certain sound like buzzing sound, a long, steady noise. The continuous noise was there, and there was steady means like a slow sound. There was no way he could stop it. So he could not stop that low sound. And then Bonku Babu broke out into goose pimples, you know, and but at an irrepressible curiosity. So kind of he was having a kind of agitated feeling that he got the goosebumps and all that, but at a irrepressible, which cannot be repressed, which cannot be turned down. So the curiosity was irrepressible curiosity. That means which was continuous curiosity, which cannot be turned down, drove him further forward. So this was the kind of curiosity which drove him further forward. And then you see, as he went past a cluster means a group, like clump, or we said that different bunches and all that. Bunch is a different word for that. Cluster we usually use for the bamboo stems. So he went past means like he went past, that means he crossed a cluster of bamboo stems. An object came into view. So he saw an object which came into the light, and he saw that thing. It looked like a giant glass bowl, okay, bowl turned upside down. It was like this. It was like this. Okay. So there was something like a plane or something which was owned by some alien people. So that's why a giant glass bowl turned upside down. Its shape, you can actually have this question: what kind of object it was, and what was it looking like? It was like a giant glass bowl turned upside down, covering the pond completely. So the pond was covered completely. It was through its translucent shade that a strong yet sorry, yet gentle pink light was shining out to turn the whole area radiant. So it was through the shade, like some kind of light was coming out. A strong, gentle pink light was shining out and turned the whole area radiant. And that's why there was some kind of dull light on the branches of the trees, and the leaves also were having some dull light. It's so radiance or sparkle of the whole pink color was all around, just because of this particular thing that they have seen, that he has seen. Sorry. And now, then thereafter, he took a few steps to get a better look, but suddenly he felt an electric current had passed through his body. Then all of a sudden he thought that like something has happened to him, and it was like a flash feeling, or a kind of electric flash feeling in his body. Obviously, he had a goosebump already. I told you. All of a sudden, he got that, and then obviously in the next instant, like next moment, instant means movement. Okay, it's different from movement. It is movement. Movement means period of time. Movement is action. Okay, movement is action. Any action is a movement. So he was rendered. Rendered is given completely, gotten. Here means gotten. He got completely immobile, like he was like a statue now. He was like a statue because he was surprised, bamboozled, startled. There are lots of words, like he became immobile because of, and his hands and the feet were tied with the invisible rope. So his hands and the feet were tied, but the rope was not visible rope. It was invisible. That means which was not like visible to anyone. Nobody could see it. There was no strength left in his body. Now there was no power in his body that he could actually resist the binding of the rope. He could neither move forward nor backward. So he was like stuck somewhere, immobile, just because of the scenario that he saw. And that's why there was invisible rope and like which actually bound him with itself. Now, a few moments later, Banku Babu, still fixed stiffly. Stiffly means very strongly and firmly at the same spot, saw that the object had gradually stopped breathing. Now, the object that he saw stopped breathing, and the kind of sound that he was hearing, now it became all silent. All at once, his ears ceased ringing, stopped ringing, and humming stopped. Now, the sound that he was hearing from quite a while, from quite a good deal of time, now it was not audible. Now it was all silence around. Now, what happened? Now, 1 second later, 1 moment later, a second later, a voice spoke, shattering the silence. That means shattering means abandoning the silence or leaving the silence of the night. It sounded human. So it sounded human, but was extraordinarily thin. The sound was of human, but it was quite bleak or kind of what we say like a womanish kind of sound. It was extraordinarily thin sound. Philippine crook. So he said that Philippine crook. It was loudly. It said loudly. Why it said it? Maybe because the kind of creature was there, thought that he can understand this language. Bonku Babu can understand this language, but Bonku Babu jumped a little. He jumped a little, obviously. What did it mean? So he did not understand what language was this. So he could not understand that. And where was the speaker? So, like from where the sound is coming, the next words a voice spoke made his heart jump again. Now, again, the same kind of sound was there. And now the question started like, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Sorry, just a minute. Who are you? Who are you? Means to say that like Bonko Babu asked, who are you? Datta, sir. Banku Bihari Datta. Sorry. Now this question, double time was asked. Who are you? Who are you? Maybe is asked by like alien. And why these were English words? Was a question addressed to him? Banku Babu swallowed. I'm Banku Babu Datta and all that. And are you English? Are you English? The voice went on. So the creature started asking questions. Are you English? No, sir. Bonko Babu shouted back. I'm Bengali, sir. I'm Bengali, sir. Now, as he replied, this was followed by a short pause. There was a short pause, like a comma. Then the voice came back and speaking clearly. Now it was said, Namaskar. So obviously, aliens are considered to be quite intelligent. That's why Bonko Babu heaved a sigh of relief. Okay, he heaved a sigh of relief and returned the greeting Namaskar, he said, suddenly realizing that invisible bonds that were holding him tightly had disappeared. So now the ropes that were there to tie him up were now gone. So those were disappeared. Disappeared means were gone, and he was free to run away. But he did not. He did not run away from that place. Now he is astounded. Astounded means obviously surprised and shocked. We can say shocked. Shocked eyes. Now his shocked eyes could see that a portion of a glass mound, like it was now shifted and it became high and something came out of it. Okay. Was sliding to one side and sorry, like it was like that. There would be a door and it would be sliding to the other side and something would come out of it one side and opening out like a door. So it was opening up like a door. The door of the craft, the aircraft, now, or can be called a spacecraft. So through the that door emerged a head, like a plain smooth ball. So there, like it was like like round face. Okay, round face was there, and then the body of the weird creature. Weird means which was not look ugly kind of creature, not looking nice. So its arms and legs were amazingly thin. Um, like too much thin when it is. So with the exception of its head, the head was quite big, but the arms and the legs were thin. Its whole body was covered by the shiny pink outfit. So what kind of dress was it wearing? Pink outfit, shiny pink outfit. Instead of ears, it had tiny holes on each side of the head, like there were holes instead of ears. On the face, there were two holes where there should have been nose, like human beings used to have the nose and the gaping hole instead of the mouth. So there was a gaping hole instead of the mouth. So kind of quite a weird kind of picture you can create in the mind. So there was no sign of hair anywhere. So there was no sign, no shaving was required. Okay. Its eyes were round and bright yellow. Okay, and they appear to be glowing in the dark. So eyes were like what kind of eyes it had? Round and bright yellow. Whenever there used to be dark, they would glow. Now the creature walked slowly towards Bonku Babu and stopped only a few feet away. So now this creature like slowly walked towards the Bonku Babu and stopped for a very few feet away. Only a few feet away. So it stopped slowly, gradually. Then it gave him a steady, unblinking stare. So like when Bonku Babu was actually already bamboozled and startled and shocked when this thing came towards him, and this thing actually gave him a steady continuous look, unblinking, without even blinking the eyes. Like kind of stare was like that. Stare means like keep on looking at someone like continuously. So it was continuously looking at him without even blinking the eyes. Okay. Automatically Bonko Babu found himself folding his hands. Okay, so folding his hands, he was folding his hands. Having stared at him for nearly a minute, it spoke in the same voice. Okay, that sounded more like a flute. It's like the sound was more like a flute. The sound of his voice, its voice was more like a flute. Flute, we know that it's a musical instrument, and that's why actually even the character is used very intelligently. Banku Babu, and even called Banke Bihari and all that. Banke Bihari was the name for Bhagwan Shri Krishna. So that's why the flute is has been used here so that we can connotate easily. So more like a flute than anything else. Are you human? I'm just using it just for the sake you can understand that like Lord Shri Krishna used to actually play on the flute. So that's why like which used to actually reflect lots of positive energy. So that's why so in the sound was kind of flute. It's been compared and simile is used here as well. So are you human? The creature asked the question. He said, yes, I am the human. Okay. Now, as like they started talking to each other, is this the earth? Yes. He said that's the earth. You are on the right place, or you must be thinking to go somewhere else. Ah, I thought as much. My instruments were not working properly. I was supposed to go to Pluto. So the question can be like, was the alien thinking to, or like, was it predetermined by the alien to come to Earth? No, because the instruments were not working properly. That's why the alien was there. Instead of that one, he had to go to Pluto. It wasn't sorry, I wasn't sure where I had landed, so I spoke to you first in the language they used on Pluto. So um the pulcrack or something was there, no? So that I spoke, that was same, I don't know like what sound it was, so same sound was used in Pluto, he said. I had landed, so I used the same language. When you did not reply, you could tell that I had landed on Earth. A complete waste of time and effort. He said that my effort has gone in vain. Vain means useless. Okay, so it has gone in vain because I came to this place where I didn't want to come. So it happened once before, like he came earlier also. So it happened for the next time, instead of going to the Mars, like earlier, the venture was to the Mars, but I veered off and went to Jupiter. So it happened for the second time, not on the Earth for the second time, but to a different planet where it deemed to go. Earlier, it wanted to go Mars, but it went to Jupiter. But now, as it wanted to go to Pluto, it came to Earth. Delayed me by a whole day, it did. He. So up to that, then thereafter, Bonku Babu did not know what to say. So he was having nothing in the mind, and he had he had been blank because of this startling event that had happened with him. So he was feeling quite uncomfortable, for the creature had reached out, was examining Bonku Babu's arms and legs with its long bony fingers. So this creature reached out and was examining Bonku Babu's arms. He was like it was amazed, like why his arms are totally different and the legs were with its long bony fingers, bony like thin fingers, bony fingers. It bony is more like bones, like having no skin on it. Uh, when it finished, it introduced itself. I am Ang. What was the name of the particular alien? Ang, from the planet Cranius. Cranius. So it came from Cranius. Sorry for that. A far superior being than a man. So Cranius, he is, and the name of the creature was Ang, and it was considered to be a far superior being, creature than the man. Like man used to consider him to be very intelligent. It's more intelligent because as per the requirement, it changed its language. You know, as per the requirement, whomsoever was a person, so he changed his language. What? This creature, barely 4 feet tall, you know, 4 feet. What was the height? 4 feet tall, with such thin limbs like body parts and weird face, was superior to man. Bonko Babu nearly burst out laughing. So he started laughing. Ang read his mind immediately. Obviously, intelligent, more intelligent. That's why Ang read the mind in immediately. Immediately, madam, on the, sorry, not like it means to say on the spot. Club. Okay, so there is no need to be so skeptical. Skeptical means doubtful or having any apprehension about it. No need to be so skeptical or doubtful about me, he said, or whimsical, you can say that. I can prove it. How many languages do you know? So he started asking the question, creator started asking the question, how many languages do you know? So Bonku Babu scratched his head. I know Bengali, English, and Hindi, a little Hindi, I mean. So then the reply was like totally amazing. You mean two and a half? So Bonku Babu knew two and a half language, and this creature knew obviously aliens. So I know 14,000 languages. So 14,000. There isn't a single language in the solar system that I do not know. So alien said that I know every language on this in this solar system. I also know 31 languages spoken on planets outside your outside your system. outside your solar system, if there are 31 more languages existing, I know them as well. My God. Now, I have to, I have been to 25 of them. I have been to 25 of them, those places. How old are you? He asked the question. I'm 50. Now, age is also quite amazing and quite startling and quite surprising. It's not possible for a human being to live 833 years. So he was 833 years old. This alien was. Do you eat animals? So Bonko Babu had had mutton curry only recently. Okay, so now the food is also being compared. Now added animals on the day of Kali Puja. How could he deny it? We stopped eating meat. He said that now in a fear maybe several centuries ago. Ang informed him. So Ang informed that we stopped eating animals like several years ago. So before that, we used to eat the flesh of most creatures. I might also have eaten you. Uh, sorry, because we have abandoned to eat the flesh. That's why I'm not eating you. Bonku Babu swallowed hard. Oh my God, he said that like I was going to get killed today. So sorry, tonight. So take a look at this. Aang offered him a small object. He gave him a small object. It looked like a pebble. Pebble, we used to play with the pebbles also. Sometimes pebbles are like difficult to be walked on. Okay, so usually pebbles you can see more of the time when there is a sea beach. You can see that somewhere like gravel. Those pebbles are also called pebbles. So he saw some pebbles. It looked like a pebble. Bonko Babu touched it for an instant and felt the same electric current pass through his body. Okay. He withdrew his hand at once because obviously he did not want to have the electric shock. So Aang smiled. Aang smiled. A little while ago, you could not move an inch. Do you know why? So he said that like there was a reason behind that one, that you were unable to move. It was because I had a little thing in my hand. So what was that little thing? It would stop anyone from getting closer. Nothing can be more effective than this in making an enemy utterly powerless. Utterly means completely. Okay. Utterly means completely powerless. So I have that thing which will make my enemy already powerless before reaching me, because I use an invisible rope. So without actually hurting me physically, without even touching me any way possible, or hurting me bodily. So I have a thing to save myself. Now Bonku Babu was genuinely taken aback, surprised, shocked. His mind was coming out of his stunned state. So it was coming out of the stunned state, you know, and Ang said, is there any place that you have wished to visit or seen that you had longed to see but never could? Never could. So, is there any place that where you wanted to go, and you could not see that thing, see that place, or like you never could go there? So Bonko Babu thought, why the whole world remained to be seen? Why the whole world remained to be seen? He taught geography, but what had he seen except a few villages, few villages and towns in the Bengal. So there was so much in Bengal itself that he had never had the chance to see. The snow-capped Himalayas, the seashore in Digha, and the forest in the Sundarbans, and even that famous banyan tree in the botanical gardens of Shivpur. Okay, so lots of places were there to see, he said. However, he mentioned none of these thoughts to Ang. He mentioned none of these thoughts to Ang. He did not mention anything to Ang. So he did not say these things to Aang, but he just thought that I haven't seen this. Okay, so there is so much I would like to see. He finally admitted, but most of all, think I would like to visit the North Pole. I come from the warm county, you see, so that's why I come from the warm county, like obviously a kind of periphery or the area or location or a region. Eng took a small tube, one end of which was covered by the piece of glass, and take a look through this, he said. Okay, and he said that take a look through this, and then Eng invited. Bonko Babu peered through the glass and felt all his hair rise. You know, all the hair rise in the shock. Could this be true? He said. Like, could he really believe his eyes? Like, he was thinking, oh, what is going on? Before him, what was stretched? A stretched and endless expanse of snow. He could see the North Pole, dotted with the large hillocks and and also covered with ice and snow. Above him, against a deep blue sky, like what was there? All the colors of the rainbow were forming different patterns, changing every second. Now, he could see the rainbow also forming the different patterns every second. The aurora borealis, borealis, aurora borealis. So, aurora borealis is the pronunciation. What was that? An igloo. He could see the igloo, North Pole. So there was a group of polar bears. So he could see the polar bear as well. And wait, there was another animal. Okay, and uh, a strange, peculiar creature. Sorry for that. Okay, a strange, peculiar creature was there. Peculiar means like a strange creature was there. Yes, it was a walrus. So he could see there was another animal called walrus. There were two of them, in fact, and they were fighting. They were fighting with each other. Okay, and he could see that North Pole, that all the activities that were going on. Their tusks were bare and large as radishes, and they were attacking each other. Streams of bright red blood were flowing on the soft white snow. So it is kind of the picture that he could see easily. So I hope you would remember till then. We'll have the next session on the next date, which ma'am would actually let me know about it so that I can make the chapter to be ready for my students in and out of the school. So thank you very much for joining in. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Take care.